All right. So for those who don't know, case sheets is the topic of conversation today. It's required for every single transaction that we do. So for every ratified contract, we generate a case sheet. So when you come into the cafe, it should look something like this. And if we just scroll down a little bit, you'll see Case Sheets Online, or CSOL. And that's where the process begins. You'll want to have some information readily available. For example, the property MLS number, assuming it's in RAIN, your client's contact information, email address, phone number. And so some of these things, like for example, your client's contact information, only you have that until you give that to the office. So it makes it's more convenient for you to go through this process. It takes, I don't know, what about 10 minutes to do a case sheet? Would you say?
Now, yes.
No?
Not when I first did
it. Yeah, no, I did a couple with Betty the other day, and it took us probably an hour to get it all wrong. So it was tough. But that being said, once you're familiar with it, it should take you about 10 minutes to go through this process and create a case sheet for each one of your ratified contracts. And so we clicked on CSOL, Case Sheets Online, right here. It opened up this page, which says, welcome to Case Sheets Online. And then the idea is to select your MLS, which for us, of course, is RAIN. And then we're going to put in our RAIN number, or our MLS number. So in this case, we're going to go up here and we're going to grab an MLS number, because eventually we'll delete this. So we're going to grab this MLS number right here as if it were under contract. And then we're going to go back to our case sheet, and we're going to drop that into this space right here. And we're going to hit this button here, Create Case Sheet. Okay. There's an alternative way of doing this by hitting the little plus sign over here. But Stacia tells me it's not as good. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to hit Create Case Sheet. And then there are some required fields that need to be filled in. For example, the type of sale. For 99% of us, it will be GB residential sale, unless it's a new home, new construction home, or it's a commercial property. We're going to select GB residential sale.
What is GB?
General brokerage. The contract ratification date. Let's say, for example, it's today. The tentative settlement date could be March 3rd. Okay. And then the listing date.
That's a good day.
That's our birthday.
That's my birthday.
So it automatically pulled in the listing date from the MLS. So it knows that much.
It doesn't always pull in the listing date. It'll pull in the pending date.
Okay.
So make sure that the listing date is prior to your contract ratification.
Very good. Contingent contract. What does this mean, Stacia?
So basically, if you have a home inspection, you're supposed to say yes in however many days. To be honest, I don't really care.
Okay.
Because I never go back in to update it when it's not a contingent contract anymore. But I mean, we know they're contingent based on the MLSs. So
okay.
I've done no for 5 years.
I check no.
Okay. All right.
I don't select. I mean, it's not very important.
And how about under additional info where it says none, short sale, or foreclosure?
That is a required field. So if it's like a bank owned, that would be a foreclosure. A short sale, which we haven't seen those in a long time. Or basically all of the ones we have now are none. That is, as you see with that asterisk, a required item. If you neglect to put that in there, it will flag you later.
Okay.
Just make sure that you select something.
All right. And so one of the things that I thought was interesting is if you look over to the left here, these are tabs. So you can jump from tab to tab, or you can just hit next and it'll take you from tab to tab. But case, property, seller, buyer, settlement. And so you're basically going to go through and fill out information relevant to each one of these, be it the seller, the buyer, the settlement companies, the commission, the listing agent, the selling agent, and any additional notes for the Long & Foster accounting department. All right, so in this example, we're just going to hit next. and we're going to answer as many questions as we can about property, and we're looking for these asterisks, which mean they're required. So type of housing, in this example, it's single family. New construction is no. We can put year built, it's not an asterisk, so we can skip over it. Or if we know, we'll just put it in there. The house number was imported from RAIN, the MLS. If there was a unit number, the subdivision, Isle of Wight, all of this stuff was pulled in already. It looks to be accurate, so we're going to click next. And now if you'll see, we're on the seller tab. And so we've got to put in the seller's information. Is the seller a private individual or is it a company? If it's a company, we'll just put in the company name here. If it's an individual, we'll fill in as required. So we're going to put in, oops. So we'll put in Jason. Gooden as the seller and the street address. So this is kind of cool. So this is the seller. We assume that they may or may not live at the property, but we can pull in that information by hitting the little copy button right here. So you don't have to type it out. So it pulls in this example, our subject property, which is really helpful. Something I do want you to pay attention to, though, especially on your side of the transaction, is their phone number. So you want to put in the phone number 757, in this example, 880-7061. And you want to put in their email address. It's really, really important for the client follow-ups. So we'll put in Stacia@LNF. So, and what this does, there's a couple of reasons for this. God forbid you are not accessible. Maybe you're on vacation. Maybe you're in the hospital. Maybe you're just not accessible. This is so that we have access to your client's information in order to take over the transaction if for some reason you can't do it. So it's really important that you put this contact information in here. Also, by putting the email address in here, Long & Foster will automatically, after closing, send out a client survey, a client satisfaction survey. So it's an opportunity for you to get a referral, assuming you did a good job. If you did do a good job and you got a great review, they'll automatically post that to your website through the connection with Testimonial Tree. So if you don't know about that, just ask and we'll help you get that set up. But these testimonials can automatically show up on your agent website, which is kind of cool. So make sure you put that information in there. If there was an additional seller, so Jason, for example, maybe there's another seller, we're just going to hit the little plus sign here. And then we're going to go down and we're going to put Debbie.
Did you hit the copy?
Not yet.
No, you can do that first. You don't have to put it in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so actually you can't see it because you've got the people's faces. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, that next to the trash can. Oh, next to the trash can, not the trash can.
Okay.
That one. Click that.
Okay. So I just want to start from the beginning.
Oh.
So let's go. Okay. So we're going to add an additional seller. We're going to add Debbie.
Oh, make sure you do the
We're going to hit
follow-up.
seller. Oh, the seller follow-up. And then we're going to hit.
Where was that? Whoa. Oh, add seller. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
add seller. And then we're going to hit the little copy button over here.
That's a copy button. Anytime you see the two squares, that's a copy button.
So it's all on the right
okay.
side beside the trash
Oh.
can. So we can hit that.
And then all you have to do is put in a first name. It auto-populates everything but the phone number and email address.
Cool.
Another thing that I do, I don't know if it's okay, right or wrong, but if
Cool.
they have the same last name, I put Jason and Debbie for first name and I don't add the second seller.
You can, I mean, either way, it works, but this puts them on their own special line because sometimes you have like brother, sister, and two different.
Yeah, if they have different addresses, if they don't cohabitate, I would do separate. I'm just saying for a married couple that live together, that's what I do.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter one way or the other, as long as you have the information. This also helps if you have different phone numbers by putting them separate. Say you had the wife's number and the husband's number and their separate email addresses, they would each get the same satisfaction survey. So then you get more reviews. I guess it just depends on how you look at it and what you're trying to accomplish with that particular section.
And then we'll hit next down here on the bottom. And we have an error.
Oh, because you said yes. So you said go back. Nope. So right there where it says seller follow-up, you selected yes. Because you said yes, you have to put in a forwarding address.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So I can put in a forwarding address if I know that they're moving someplace else.
If you already know their address. But this will also charge you the seller follow-up program,
right.
Which I'm not sure what the dollar amounts are anymore. They used to be for a seller, I think it was like $29 or something. It's through
Quantum Digital.
Thank you. I can't remember their name. And you can actually pick what they get. And you can choose not to do the follow-up now and then go back in later into the customer follow-up program and choose to add them then.
It's kind of a cool way to do it at the front if you know that you're going to want some follow-up system implemented for you automatically. And then it'll charge $29 to your agent statement. The cool thing though is that they're going to mail postcards with your branding on them to these people for up to 5 years as a method of keeping your name in front of them regularly. All right, so let's see if we can. You did? Yeah. So it's funny because I got an email this morning that one of mine was going to go out as well. So I like the idea of the customer follow-up program.
So they notify you when they send them out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
For the $29, it's going to be on your agent statement. Just comes out of your commission.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
That or your credit card, whichever comes first.
Yeah. So for example, you have to keep a credit card on file, but if you have a transaction that's in pending status, then generally it'll come out of the commission. Yeah. If you don't have a transaction in pending, they'll charge your card. And now we're going to go through and we're going to fill out the buyer information. And I don't know if I can sell it to myself. That'd be kind of cool.
You can write whatever you want in there.
Okay. And so it's not always common for us to know the address of both parties, right? We either represent the seller or we represent the buyer. So it may be that we, in this case, have the seller, but we don't know the buyer's information. So what would we put here?
So if I have to put in a case sheet, I usually just use the address of the
property.
No, the selling agent.
Oh.
So I'd put 2099 Sun Harbor Avenue, Suffolk, Virginia, whatever. You just put B Street at this point.
If you really didn't, I mean, I've used unknown address. I just write that in there. And I just,
but you
that's
still have
always
to
worked.
put a city and a state.
Yeah, correct.
And a zip code. So you have to have something in there. But if we don't know it, I mean, I don't, or I just put the property address. Sometimes I do that. I mean, because that's where they'll be eventually. They're purchasing the home. So
that's true.
The only downside to that is if you say yes to the home warranty enrollment form, it actually sends it to the address listed in the case sheet. So just know that you'll get the mail. Property, Long and Foster Insurance, if it's your client, they'll send, and you don't have an address for them, they send it to the office with their name. You know, it would say buyer, you know, buyer at 2099 Sun Harbor. So it gets sent to the office if there's no.
And I would say the majority of folks say no.
Yes.
To the home warranty enrollment form. So
correct.
That would be my advice to you is to say no at this point, because we're not looking to mail out home warranty information most of the time. We can hand them that information, or even better, connect them with Dawn and let her sell the home warranty if need be. And in this case, again, buyer follow-up. This is not our client because in this case, in this example, we represent the seller. So we would probably put no. And will the buyer occupy? According to the contract, they will. They're buying it as owner occupied. If there were an additional buyer, we could click the plus sign here. And in this case, we don't have an additional buyer, so I'll click the trash can and get rid of that.
Oh, go back and do a buyer. I want to do
Another
the,
one?
yeah, do the, I want to show the company part.
Okay.
So when, oh, it's not gonna let you crash that and go, change the top one to buyer. Go up. I mean, company, buyer type company.
Right here.
Yeah. So when you do this one, it actually will not let you select a buyer follow-up or a seller follow-up.
Oh, down here.
Just an FYI, even though the asterisk will be there, because he already said no, it shows it selected, but it won't actually show up. And it won't let you click in it. So don't get petrified or freak
Okay.
out. It's just, as a company, we don't send to companies.
Okay.
Just an FYI.
We're gonna hit next. All right, and then this is where we have the settlement information. So there was a deposit in this example of $500. And it's going to be held in escrow, which is generally a non-interest bearing account. The deposit is being held by the attorney, the builder, the listing broker, the selling broker, or a title company. So in this case, we'll say the selling broker. That's the other company. In this example, the loan type is FHA, VA, or other. So let's say they're getting an FHA loan. Potential rebate, no. The title company. So we have a whole selection here. Or I'm guessing we could type in our own, right?
So
Stacia?
if you're selecting one that's not Sage Title or Shaheen, you would select other and then just put the name down in that bottom space where it says place of settlement other than attorney's office. And that way it puts something in there to let us know who's doing the closing.
Like Kaplan Law, for example, we see them quite a bit. So you would just type that in there. But for our example, we want to use Sage Title Group. And then we're going to click on Show Offices, which is kind of neat.
It's new.
And it brings up a whole list of Sage Title Group offices. So we're just going to scroll down till we find the one. We have the Williamsburg, we have the Yorktown.
Is that new?
Yes.
We have we generally use the Kempsville office,
Yeah.
just because geographically it's the closest one to us.
Yeah.
But we also sometimes will use the office in Yorktown. And so we've selected now the Kempsville office, and we'll scroll down to the bottom and hit select.
Yeah.
And it populates all of the contact information and address for this title company.
Awesome.
The lender company, Prosperity, Cash, or Other. So if there's Other, we're just going to type in the name of the lender right here. So maybe it's Navy Federal, Bayport, whatever it happens to be. So we'll put it right there. In this case, we're going to leave it at Prosperity. And it says, are you already working with a Prosperity loan officer? Yes or no? And then commission, buyer broker.
Nope, that's not the commission.
Okay.
That's different.
we
So
leave this
those
blank?
3 options, yes, never fill those in.
Okay.
Those 3 right there are never really used.
Okay.
That's more Northern Virginia type thing where they get on a buyer broker, they get a oh Lord, what's the word I'm looking for? A retainer.
Okay.
Like they're already being paid a commission. Same thing with prepaid commission, like if they get it up front, which we don't do those things down here.
So that's our settlement information, title company, mortgage company. The sale price in this example, we're going to put $650. And the listing company is Long and Foster. And the selling company is another company.
Don't freak out.
All selling side agents will be deleted. Do you want to continue? Yes.
Don't freak out.
So, all right. So co-op means another company, not Long and Foster. So
Or no agent. Like sometimes there's no agent. Like on FISBOs, you'll type co-op for listing, and then in the broker name, you'll just put FISBO.
So this is the listing side and this is the selling side. So right here, we're going to put in our percentage. We're gonna put in 3. And then it calculates, and then we're gonna put 3 over on the selling side and let it calculate. There's no rent and there's no pass-through bonus due.
So you notice the pass-through bonus is just for the selling side. That would be like a $1,000 bonus on a full price offer or something. That's where you would put that, is in that spot. Now for a listing, if you get a bonus, it actually gets added into the commission and you get it at your split.
Cool.
I don't know why.
All right, and then should we hit calculate?
Yep.
Let's hit
It'll cop
calculate.
an attitude if you
All
don't.
right, so we hit calculate and then it drops these commissions down here. So total 6% commission, $39,000.
Jeez.
Somebody needs to sell that daggone house.
Right?
Man.
Well, let's just say the seller better be ready for that.
Yeah, the seller better be ready.
Oh, by the way, 40K is not going in your pocket.
Yeah, right now.
Profit center. What do we do here?
You type SU.
SU.
Damn.
All right, or could we do
SM.
SM?
Oh, okay.
You see Smithfield, 7711. Or you see
see
SU, and you can do Suffolk Harbor View, 7710. Those are our 2
Okay.
offices.
Just know that when you do a listing, I mean, a sale with another office, you can plug in their information just as well. So you could type Yorktown, YOR, and it should give you like Smith Mountain Lake. It gives you that information.
And we'll say Virginia Streeter. You're in
Sure.
here. So we're gonna say,
Oh, there I am.
you are collecting this $19,000 commission.
Gosh, holy moly. Lunch is on me. Lunch is on me.
All right. You heard that, right? When she
All
sells
right.
this, lunch is on her.
Is agent part of a team on this transaction? That's going to be a no.
Yeah, nobody in our office is on the team.
All right, so
Okay.
that's a no.
Yep.
And if there were an additional agent or if you were paying a referral fee, you could add that person here.
So click that. So say you had, you've got Smithfield up there. You can say Suffolk for this one. This is where it gets tricky. Then you pick an agent, just click on it. Just pick the first one. Over in the very right, it says agent share of listing commission. Both yours and the other agent cannot say 100. You have to put something. So if it's 75-25, 60-40, 50-50, whatever it is, you have to put that in there for it to calculate correctly. And you'll notice that when you do, the agent share of the listing commission, the dollar amount changes.
So because it was a referral, this agent, La Chamelle, is receiving 25% referral fee, $48.75. This agent is receiving 75% of the 3% commission, which is $14,625 combined for that $19,000.
And then you have to select no as part of the team for that person because we don't do that.
And we're going to hit next. And then the selling broker information. This again is on your contract. And so let's say for example, it's who knows, we could say Century 21.
Yeah, that's it.
And then the broker side of the commission.
Don't put anything in that spot.
Okay.
So we actually don't care what they get. That I know it shows it's required. You should not have to. I don't think I did the last time, but you should not have to put anything in there. Though I do ask that you at least put the agent name, even though it's not asterisk in that in that bottom section. Just so that I know that I'm looking up the correct person, because I put a bunch of other information in there so that Jason has it for whatever it is that he does.
So the other agent's name and phone number can go right here, and the broker that they work for can go right here. And that's all we have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to remarks and status.
So this section, if you have a note to me, like you reduced your commission, any little office note that you want me to know, stick that on the side that fits us. So if it's our listing and it's our listing side, fill in whatever on that side. You know, if you're paying the $295 flat fee, you don't want the client to pay for it. Say charge agent flat fee or whatever. That's where the notes go for me.
Cool. And if you had the sell side, you could type that note over here.
Okay.
These notes are for inner office. These notes are for accounting.
Yeah, I put notes in there.
And that's central accounting, right? That's Long and
Yes.
Foster accounting.
That's right.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Those are my notes to
the
our
bottom is for
department.
in-house.
The bottom is for me.
Ah, okay, okay.
All right, and then we're going to hit next. And now we see our case sheet summary. So all of the data that we've just entered then has created this case sheet summary. And this is what we need to send to all of the parties. So Stacia will get a copy of this. You know, if it's our buyer, the mortgage company will get a copy of this. The title company needs a copy of this. Say,
that's good.
Dawn with Long and Foster Insurance could use a copy of this to reach out to your client and give them a quote for homeowners insurance, etc. Okay.
Are we responsible for making sure that goes to the settlement and to all the other players, or does Stacia do that?
Yeah. So when you get this, you're going to send the title company a copy of the case sheet and the contract and the commission agreement. So the 3 C's: case sheet, contract, and commission agreement.
Okay.
Stacia does not want any responsibility to that.
I don't blame you.
Right, and then we'll hit submit. And I think what we'll see is the
So down at the bottom, you'll see it says pending approval on the list side. And on the right side, it says not applicable because that's not our stuff. So it's not supposed to say anything. It's just supposed to say that.
you can hit print. All you want to do is submit it. You don't want to approve it.
Well, they can't get it.
They don't have an approve button.
Just you and I.
Okay, so you don't have an approve button. So, but you do want to submit it. You do want to submit it so that it's in the system.
And there's no validate button anymore because it tells you in each section what you did wrong?
Well, no, so sometimes it'll tell you in each section, but when you go and submit it, it'll tell you if you've missed something. Just know too that when you guys get releases, don't go back into case sheets and touch anything. Just let me do it.
So if in that unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah, when you have a contract and it falls through, don't go into case sheets. Just give me the release and say, do what you do.
Hey, can I just ask a policy for Long and Foster? What's the position on representing both seller and buyer?
You see the, she's asking you about both sides.
Yeah. How do y'all feel about that?
You don't care.
Yeah, we do. So most of the time we'll
care.
do one party is unrepresented. If you're asking about dual agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 99% of the time, I would advise you to represent one side and write the other party as unrepresented.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. If I had a choice, I would represent the seller, right? Because I want credit for the listing, and I would have the buyer as an unrepresented party.
Understood. Okay. Very good. No, I just, yeah, I'm one of those that you have responsibility to one party and you just, refer the other one. So, okay. I was just curious because we hadn't talked about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
You guys see this, so we hit the print button and it brings up this PDF version. And of course you can save this to the file on your computer. I can't think of a good reason to print it out. So just save this in your file and you can email it to whomever we need to deliver it to, which it might be Dawn. If you have a buyer, it might be Sage Title Group, along with a copy of the contract. And Stacia, of course. So, can we see you?
I don't know. I will. It's not for that. It's for that.
Stand on the chair. So,
And I'd be up here.
All right, any questions about what we've just gone through? It's not that bad, once you get familiar with it.
If you go back.
It's great. It's great. I love this.
Good.
Yay, Long and Foster. I love this. This is professional. This is squared away. This is really helpful, I think. So that's my 2 cents worth then.
So once you put one in, you'll see it on your case sheets dashboard, so to speak. And it'll show you what your case sheets are that you have in there, pending approval. Once they're approved by me, they'll all show up there. Now, once it's dispersed, you have to click show all. And once it's approved, you have to click show all. So if you click show all, Jason, this is kind of scary, but these are all our active case sheets.
Oh, okay.
Like this is what we have as an office because Jason has office rights. So everything, and you see where I approve things. If there was another admin who approved it, they can only approve their side. So like that second one, where we have the buyer, the listing agents in the Yorktown office, I can only approve my side. So you may see it on your work list until they approve it.
Cool. Cool. All right, that's case sheets in a nutshell. Thank you guys for checking it out. Of course, this has been recorded and we'll put it on our YouTube channel.
Did you tell them about how when they do the case sheets and they get that number to put that in when they email you the paperwork?
Oh, he's talking it. So Jason's, yeah, you can show it from there. So that VA number, oh, we should tell them the other thing too with earnest monies. So that case number is specific to that property for this particular transaction. So anytime you like when you send me the contract, if you include that number, that's helpful for me so that I can go look for it if it's not on our page. So sometimes you hit the submit button or you just hit the save button because there's a save button too. And basically what that does is it just enters it into the system, but it doesn't send it anywhere. So I have to go hunt them down. But the other thing we need to talk about is when you have an earnest money check and you're using payload or earnestly, that's Long and Foster's version of Sage's EMD collection. There it is. You have to send the payload earnestly request first and wait for the case number to generate.
Okay.
So it'll create a case sheet for you with that property address and your client's information, just their first and last name. And then once you go in there, you will not be able to plug in the MLS number because that part will be shaded, even though there's an asterisk. It's really stupid, but just know that that's okay. I don't know if you can log in.
Okay. Who generates the case number?
So,
is that Long and Foster?
In earnestly, the earnestly generates the case number. When you go in to do the listing or the sale yourself, you're generating that case number. It comes automatically when you hit the submit button.
Okay, very good.
So if you have a buyer and you're going to send them an electronic request for earnest money, this is where you're going to do that. It'll email them a link so that they can submit their earnest money electronically, which is awesome. And this program automatically begins your case sheet.
Yeah, I like that. Very good. And we get a receipt, right? For
yes.
that?
So once they pay it, so first you get an email saying that this has been requested with the case number. Then you get another one when they've paid it, and that's the receipt. And there's usually an attachment, a PDF attachment that you can include or forward or whatever it is if you haven't sent the contract to wherever. Some buyers are lickety split and will do it like 5 seconds after you send them the request. Others take full 24 hours.
Yeah.
And they can't what?
Can't use a savings account.
Oh, and you can't use a savings account. We learned that. And there's no credit card option. So it has to come from a checking account.
It's an ACH. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
All
But
right.
some people don't know how to write checks, so they might be able to figure that out.
I
Right.
tell you, the way kids are being educated today, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I write a check every other Thursday at home.
Oh, was it earnestly or payload?
Yep. I have no idea. It's the
So-
same company.
It's the same. So I typed in payload, you can type in earnestly, and you'll get to that page in the cafe where
Yeah.
you can request an electronic earnest money deposit. It's pretty
Or
cool.
once you get to it, save it as a bookmark and just click the button at the top of your web
Yeah.
browser.
You could do that too. Yeah. Cool. Anything to add?
Very good.
Debbie?
No, I think you did great. I mean, I think it's a very easy process, and you know, it lets you know if there's an error. So
Yeah.
you just go find it.
Yep.
Cool. All right, well, we'll let you go. Thank you guys for being here, and this will be saved so you can watch it over and over and over and over again. So thanks for being here, Victoria, Jenny.
Okay, thank you.
Have a
Yeah.
nice day, y'all.
You too. Bye.
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 Mhm.